I'm Jax Mackey, and I'm about to take this van on a van life adventure. Let's go boondock suburbia. Don't worry, you're coming too. All right, so some of you guys may remember my nephew. He's the one to help me out with installing my gray water tank, as well as opening up his own workshop and helping me fabricate all the doors for the cabinets. So he reached out recently asking how I was doing, and invited me to come down. I offered, sure, I'll bring the van. And offered to cook him dinner. So we're gonna boondock in a small, a medium-sized town, city, whatever you want to call it, and back up in his driveway and make some dinner, have some drinks, have a few laughs, and see what else we can get up into. Well, right now, though, as per usual, I've got to do some provisioning. I haven't picked up anything, the bulk of the main ingredients for what I'm going to make for dinner. So obviously we're going to have to stop at the grocery store and pick those items up. So that's our first stop. Now we're not scheduled to arrive at his house until later this afternoon. So between now and the appropriate time for me to get there, we'll spend some time prepping some of the stuff ahead of time, so that way we don't have to waste too much time. From what I'm told, they typically have dinner around 5 or so, and so that's kind of what we're trying to plan for, although I'm going to get there a little bit, not enough time, 30 minutes. I'm going to get there probably around 4:30 by the time I get the van set up and get started on things. I'm not going to have enough time to make this meal in 30 minutes, so it'll probably be about 5:36. Is what I'm thinking. But either way, it should be a good time and a good test with the van, obviously. It is quite cloudy today, so I don't foresee many watts being put into the battery, so we might end up utilizing the shore power connection and plugging in overnight, so that way I don't have any worries about not having any power. So with that said, I'm going to continue driving here and get to my shopping destination. All right, I'm here at Festival Foods in Janesville, Wisconsin. Been shopping here for a while now. Unfortunately, I had to stop shopping at my actual local grocer due to some reasons I won't get into here now. But it's a pretty nice grocery store, pretty large. Some items can be a little bit high, but otherwise, I like what I see here in terms of freshness, and they take care of the produce and stuff like that pretty regularly. So let's go grab some stuff. All right, so grab some groceries. I didn't film anything inside. It always feels kind of awkward for me to try to do that, and I don't know that they necessarily want filming in there either. So but either way, I picked up a few things that I'm going to need, and we're going to hang out here in this parking lot for a little while. We're going to be discreet. I'm not going to have the back open or anything like that like I've got right now. I'm just going to close everything up. I'll sneak in through the cab, and we'll just hang out inside there while they make some preparations for dinner. We got a little bit of time. All right, $57 worth of groceries. Some potatoes, I got some bread, I got a big pork loin here. I've got some sandwich preparations, sandwich meat and whatnot. I got a big butternut squash that we're gonna have for dinner tonight too, and some capers. What else we got here? Oh, I got some eggs. All right, so I've got a couple hours. I know it's a little dark in here, but you know, I don't really need any lights per se. But at any rate, I got a couple of hours before I gotta leave, and I've got a lot of squash here. I got a pretty darn big batch of squash, which to my estimation is going to take longer than my initial thought was, of maybe say 30 minutes in the cast iron pot here. So I've got butternut squash, carrot, onion, celery, and some garlic in here, and I'm going to go ahead and slow saute that until soft in the cast iron skillet with a bunch of butter. We're also going to throw in some brown sugar and some red pepper flakes to give it a little bit of a kick. All right, so on our way to the final destination. Sat in the parking lot of the grocery store for a couple hours, did some food prep, and just doom scrolling on the phone. But we got about a 20-minute drive, and then we'll be there.
Hey Jax, what you doing?
Oh, just airing up the tires, checking the system here. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Number one, wanted to check my compressor that I had. I've had it for quite a number of years. Wanted to be sure it was still working properly, and also wanted to work with it with the electrical system that I've got, because it is a 120 volt compressor. I wanted to see how much draw it was on my batteries. But also, like I said, wanted to check the tire pressure in these tires. Recommendations were 75 in the front and 65 in the rear, and these were at 40. So definitely needed to get some air in here, so that's what we're doing right now. And also wanted to check these fillers, because the way the dualies are set up, I wasn't able to reach the inside tire properly with the kit that I had, so I picked up a couple of new filler and a gauge. This one has a straight on the end to get at the inside tire, and then the angle is for the outside tire, so we can fill this up pretty easy. So far I filled up one front tire and both sets of rear tires, and I've only used about 3% of my batteries, 400 amp hours of lithium, so I don't think that's too bad with the kit that I've got. The other option I have would be to buy just a 12 volt air compressor, which is an option, a couple $100, which, you know, if I don't have to spend a couple $100 with the compressor I already have, we're going to stick with this one then. I'm not too concerned about the consumption of power. I think in an hour or so we'll be able to recover that battery depletion pretty quick, so I'm not too concerned. So this is day 4, the beginning of day 4. Didn't film much at my nephew's. A lot of it for me is just visiting, enjoying time. Part of it was feeling awkward to record and whatever, so I didn't really film much while I was there. I had grand visions, but it's just me trying to get sorted. Even when I streamed, there was a sense of awkwardness, talking to the camera, and it's even more prevalent when you're trying to do this in front of people. I'm not 100% comfortable doing it yet, so it's probably going to take a little bit. But at any rate, so I spent 2 nights, rocked up to his place Friday night, Friday afternoon, made some nice dinner, and spent the night in the van. And then Saturday, we worked on inflating the tires, getting that system set up, and tires checked, and determining whether the compressor was going to work, and of course it did. Worked out pretty good. Didn't take too much power, so that was another good benefit of the system. And then we just hung out Saturday, and then I ended up staying another night, so I stayed Saturday night in the driveway again. Got up and I made him breakfast, and then early afternoon I said goodbye and headed out to the old standby local park, Traxler Park. I hung out there, watched some YouTube content for the better part of the day, just chilled out. And then I made my way to Home Depot, and that's where I stayed for the night. Home Depot, pretty quiet here. I didn't hear any cars or anything. I don't, so pretty decent. And it's about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. Actually, not quite 8. Just 20 minutes. 7:30 more like. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm just packing up the bed now, folding up the blankets. Figured out how to do that so that they fit inside the cabinet space. So I basically just fold this in third lengthwise and then roll it up, and it fits nicely inside the cabinet. So that's it. Take this out of bed mode.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to check out next week's video. And if you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe.